employment plan is a complete zero.
Yeah, they got contracted people, what's today, the 9th, today?
Yeah.
12/9.
I get my booster this afternoon.
I got mine a week ago.
Reaction?
Yeah, definitely, more so than the first two. Now, I'm a Moderna guy.
Yeah, me too.
And I
You had more than the first two?
definitely.
Crap, because I had a really bad one on
Oh, no, I had dipped the first two.
on the second one.
Like, you wouldn't even know I had, thank you, sir. Certainly where I got the shot, my arm really hurt, but, no, I would say like definitely like a wonky, bit of a, like, muscle aches and pain kind of, I mean, nothing, I still came to work.
For how long after?
The interesting part about the solar, well, there's plenty of interesting parts, and no need to,
second. And I've got 45 minutes to make it happen.
Oh, really? Okay.
What's that?
And meeting's at 9.
Somebody's taking over, I think, for you.
Could be. Wow.
I think we're at the end of last week.
With the water, same thing as.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yep. And then we got the copies yesterday that we made.
And we just need to probably punt a couple things into the future. All right, if we're all set, let's call it to order at, we'll call it just 8 o'clock. That's awesome. You can see on the top of your agenda, we already had notice from Tom that we will not be having the informal discussion with Greg. Sonny will do that next time, so, or at least we'll plan on that.
Yeah.
Like
We'll
that.
we'll be planning on it.
And then with stuff we do in January, it actually might not work that great anyway, so we'll sort of play that by ear.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to Secretary's report. I'm assuming we haven't had anything that isn't already on the agenda that we need to talk about, so we'll just go to the meeting minutes from November when I wasn't here. Thank you, Todd, for running the meeting in my absence. So I'll take, if there's no corrections, I'll take a motion to accept from anyone other than myself or Darlene, since I'm not here.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Gary? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Bob, over to you for November financials.
Okay, statement of cash transactions. The only thing coming in was the interest, 134.71, and then the disbursements, as we discussed last week, for the town. Tom for mileage, Sheba for our contract, Locksmith for the maintenance of the signs and the gardening around it, and then we had some advertising promotion to Summit for a total disbursement last month of $50.93, and our balance in checking and savings total is $1636.275. If we go to the income statement, you can see the same income, and then the expenses are broken out, the management fee and the admin fee, meeting expense for the conference. The buildings, utility, and rent is the Lawnsmith number, and then the advertising promotion number again for the $50.93 number for stuff going out. For the balance sheet, we've got $109.50 in checking, savings $1636.275, total assets of $2759.70. We have the 2 bonds payable and the accrued litigation for a total of $311,600. The purchase of Rapid Rose property is in there from a fund balance negative standpoint, and then we got our fund balance of $1425,625. Total liabilities, investment, fixed assets, and fund balance $2759.70. That is the report, and I've got more details on the check, so. Questions?
I'm short on that.
All right, I'll take a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Janine?
Second?
Todd? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, so for the checks, we've got our mileage and our Toshiba monthly, but then I'm going to go into a little detail on that $30,933 check that you see there, and that is to the town in a combination monthly contract for the 3966 standard number, and then we have credit card expenses that total about $100. But the large numbers on there are some unallocated insurance for Rapids Road bond, the Rapids Road property, the bond payment of $61.60, and then a principal, and then interest of $924, and then Commerce Drive expenses, which is our part of the road cost, of $19,448 and 43 cents. So that totals that check to the town of $30,932 and 56 cents. So that's a little more detail on why they have a abnormally large check size that going to the town. And I'd like to make a motion we pay these.
Does anyone need any other clarification or anything on the big check amount?
What's unallocated insurance?
It's the way Evans works with the town whenever there's a portion that they haven't found other means to allocate. We get once a year our share of that. It's usually right in that $325 range. She was trying to get it confirmed yesterday from, what's his name, Miller at Evans. I don't know if she did or not.
So if you,
What type of insurance is it?
Property.
yeah, so it's property and liability,
Yeah.
property and liability,
Okay.
yeah. So if you think of the big pie, the town just pays it to Evans, and then they carve out a little portion and allocate it to us.
Yeah, I just was curious as to the nature of the insurance.
And the Commerce Drive expense, that's not reimbursable, right?
No,
You know, that's the roadwork that we were willing to fight for the
Right.
deal. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All right, so I went a little out of order there. Bob's got the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We'll give that to Darlene. All right, so then we had the discussion in the middle, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Shift some stuff around here. So, Tom, we'll pass it to you
Yeah,
for
nothing.
your side of the story.
yeah, even though it seems like we just had the New York State EDC annual meeting, their winter conference has been set for January 19th and 20 in Albany. I would need approval of those expenditures. It'll be somewhere in the $750 to $800 total. We need a motion to approve that.
What was your estimate? I'm sorry.
$800, let's say.
Okay, do we have a motion, for Tom to attend that meeting with a present estimate of $800?
So moved.
Harry, Bob, is a second. Any questions for anyone? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you.
You have in your packet that maybe looks to be a strange photo, but, you know, speaking of Commerce Drive Extension, we had done all that work, and really to the credit of Beisenbach's general contractor, he said, you might want to throw something up at the end, because, you could have some idiot that just isn't paying attention, or came down to want to speed, drag race, whatever. So the highway department put up both, not only the dead end sign, but those two reflective diamonds. So I just wanted you to know that that's up, and again, probably prudent for us to have that, so give him
Simple solution.
credit. Yeah, absolutely. Again, just a reminder, I think I sent you, I'm off like the 14th of December, and then really from the 22nd to, I think it's the 3rd. I'm not used to working for a municipality where it's a use it or lose it kind of scenario, so I'm not even sure I'll get there. There may even be some dates in early January, but Maureen will be here her normal days, and obviously I'll not going anywhere, so I'll pay attention to emails. So far, we've received 5 of the 7 board self-evaluations. I won't pass this around because it's incomplete, but as in the past, Maureen's preparing kind of a collated results that I'll share with you all in January, so that we have that and can talk through any of maybe the moderately rated scenarios. So if you owe us that, love to get it to you, and we can help facilitate that. I think most folks picked up on this, and I certainly wasn't in attendance, but I did watch it live. Exciting news for the town to have the groundbreaking for the hospital take place. If you watched, it was literally a bloodbath beyond description. But the construction contract has been awarded to Pike out of Rochester, and I think they've quote-unquote started, if you want to call it that. But and if you're ever anxious and looking,
I don't think they've started anything yet.
yeah, I'm just trying to think how much site work I see. Maybe the site work
Yeah.
was just for that. But
They
if
haven't, they shouldn't have started any
because
site
of the
work yet.
SHPO. Or,
Yeah.
But if you're going to watch when it starts, Room and Road's really a better viewpoint if you're interested, I shouldn't say. What we do every year at this point is to mail out the job reports with the kind of new attestation statement we started a year ago. They're due January 20-something. We've received 3 of them already. I'll obviously report out to you, anybody that misses it, that may have something new and unique going on. My sense will be, although it's, it's just a sense that if folks have missed, maybe with that one exception, we're gonna hear workforce, and workforce. And that they're not that they're, don't want to employ those numbers, they're just positions that are open, but obviously we report out that, fully, if you will. So no, I think that's all I have. On the new business, we're gonna take a quick look at the P&Ps just for Paris, but, no, that's really the extent of it.
Anyone have any questions for Tom before we move on? All right. Attorney's report?
The MRB, I think we'll save that for executive. Weisenbag is complete. We've received, the 1%, which is $20,000, so that will be in for next month. And, that's it.
All right. And, Tom, you wanna go into
Yeah.
policy and procedure?
Yeah, just real quickly, if people are forgetting, one of the, I think, more minor elements of Paris is to show that the board's looked at select policies and procedures. I had, I'll take a look link-wise, at bylaws. There are no, changes proposed in the, bylaws. If you look in your packet, what I have tweaked just a bit, and remember, because this is Paris and we're reporting for the 2021 year, it may look weird when I show you 2021 mission statement or performance goals, but that's really just because of the way Paris is. I've not changed the mission statement. The 4 elements that we utilize, number 2 maybe being less important this year in terms of the COVID-related resource assistance, but otherwise those 3 performance goals are what you're used to. On the second sheet, the only thing I've tweaked down, and I think it's inconsequential, is under the number of businesses assisted with general business and COVID things. Last year it was off the charts, probably 30 for the year and so on, and with maybe a hope that it circles back to more basic things, I've just tweaked it down to 7 a year, and that may be low, and again, that's not as important as the other 3 performance goals that we'll compare ourselves to. Another item that's required to be reviewed annually is that legal fee schedule, and our own fee, if you will. That's been attached as well. That has not had any changes either, so we should probably get a motion that we reviewed the bylaws and the mission statement, performance goals, and legal fees, and I'll talk about the UTEP in a second, but,
Does anyone have any questions about the mission statement, performance goals, or fee schedule before we grab a quick approval? No? Okay, so I'll take a motion to accept the document, the mission statement, performance goals, and fee schedule as we've got in front of us.
So moved.
Carolyn?
Second.
Janine? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
but, and the only one we should maybe act upon in January, as I begun some discussions with Dan and Tom, that are probably most important policy, which is the UTEP, or the Uniform Tax Exemption policy, that quote-unquote guides our decision-making around projects that we induce and so on. As a reminder, at least on paper, January 1st, the prevailing wage law goes into effect. I say at least on paper because maybe in somewhat typical New York State fashion, really significant elements that drive whether it really truly is in effect haven't taken place yet. Like the board that will oversee it has yet to be created yet. All the really critical definitions. What are project fees? What federal and state dollars count as public dollars? What's total construction cost? And as much as we think those may be simple and straightforward, I don't think they are. I've made some minor recommendations just so that at least the UTEP has some, I'll just call them placeholder scenarios. And if you go all the way to the end of the back, the only thing I'm going to do for the application, which is really just a reminder for us, is on that page 7, under estimated costs, I'm going to just put an asterisk that says, the project costs in excess of $5 million will be subject to New York State's prevailing wage laws. And similarly, under the sources of funds for project costs, I'll just add in there that the projects for sources of funds from public sources, i.e., tax exemptions, sales tax exemptions, grant tax, exceed 30% of the project, that would be subject to the prevailing wage law as well. Thankfully, I think in 99% of the cases, we haven't had that scenario. We certainly have had projects over $5 million. Think custom laser. I think I did the math at one point, and even the support that they got would not have crossed that 30% threshold. So I don't know if we'll bump up against it, but certainly, at least as it's written, the penalties, more so for the developer / owner than us, are pretty onerous. So at some point, we'll want to circle back to the UTEP when Dan and Tom have given us some feedback, just so that that's referenced in here. So I don't want to pass it or say it's kosher till we tweak it, but there's no real hurry, as I said. You can look at legal advice all over the map in terms of what are some entities up against if they really are crossing these two triggers, but we obviously aren't in that situation right now. So that's the only policy we'll bring back to get approved with a moderately substantive update.
So we're gonna have to modify our policy. Where's the enforcement actually lie? Is it just that when we induce a project, we're telling them they need to abide by those guidelines,
Exactly.
and we're not involved in the enforcement in any
Correct.
way, right? That
Correct.
gets passed along?
Well,
New York State Department of Labor.
It's gonna be part of your inducement resolution, and
Yeah.
That's what I mean. We have it in our wording, but then it's up to the contractors and
Owner/developer.
owner to
Well,
abide.
they'll have to certify to us, I mean, I think we're obligated to make sure they do it, so, it'll be part of their report as they go along.
Yeah. And we could even, like in that, when we do the year-end report around, hey, how much sales tax exemption did you use, and so on, we could
Yeah.
add that in select cases,
I
so.
mean, our policy is they have to conform to all the laws anyway, and so this is one of the laws. I don't know, I mean, we can put it in there. Certainly on the application is fine.
Yeah.
In terms of the page 32, where it's inserted in the text,
Yeah.
I would think maybe you might want to put that in a different section if you want to put it in at all.
No, it's up, that's fine.
Um,
I'm open to.
Maybe have its own section. What is this? This is our...
It's not well, actually, it is the whole UTEP. It just isn't the whole application, obviously, but that is the full 31 through 36 is the full.
Yeah, I mean, that's the,
Yeah, but
You can use
we'll
like
tidy
that.
this up with
Yeah,
Tom
there's
and get it all, a final document prepared for next meeting,
January, yep.
probably.
I think we would, if anything, would go under one as opposed to the tax exemption.
No, let me know. No,
Okay,
no
good.
hurry, and we'll bring it
Whatever.
back in January, but,
Just a suggestion.
Okay. So we're all set there, we're done with all new business
Yeah.
then, Tom? Okay. Clearly, we've got a couple things for executive session, so I'll take a motion to enter executive for consultation with attorneys.
So moved.
Second.
Todd and Bob. All right, we're in a
I
second.
can do it.
All right, so next meeting then is Thursday, January 13th, and potentially within